Thanks everyone for showing up. I see the chat is popping, which is nice and exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. So, obviously, this is my first time doing this, and I'm not entirely sure of what I'm doing. So, if for any reason you notice something's weird, you can't hear me because my music's too loud, or I don't know, I just sound like I need a drink of water, please feel free to yell at me and tell me to do so. I'm okay with that. I'm fine figuring this out with everyone else at the same time. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, I got an alert. Oh, hey! Thank you, Cole. You'll also know that, notice maybe a little known fact, I am a fan of I Love Lucy. A huge fan. So, I may have made all the alerts I Love Lucy alerts if I could. Just little things here and there. But yeah, so I guess just to see it pop up. I mean, I think I can do a test one. I don't know if that'll actually work on stream, but I'll just at some point give you guys the links to the gifts and we can have a laugh. So, what are we doing here? I am going to I'll never get tired of that. See, there we go. We're not up for murder. No, not today. Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. We could be. It's a writing chat, so who knows. But I'm gonna turn the music down just a smidge. Here we go. Where, yeah, we're gonna write, or you're going to, I mean, maybe we will write. You're going to watch me write, and I may actually use your input, or take your input, and we'll do this thing. So, I don't know if I should wait a couple minutes or get right into this. I would hope this would make you want to write. I would really hope. Oh my gosh, Cody's already making requests. We have a lot of options. A lot of options. If you follow me, if you're a patron, if you've heard me ranting on on anything, I have a lot of stuff going, quite a bit. But we have choices, so let's get into that. Let's see if I can get us onto the next screen. Alrighty. So I have ongoing works. I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to watch me do some editing of an existing, say, serial like Mad Wendigo, or if you'd like me to write something new. So far right now, I think I'm going to stay away from any novels that I haven't started posting online. So that would kind of count out Strange Frontier and some other stuff. But I have lots of other things that I have been posting online or that I'm looking to update over time, like Marlowe Sampson, which is a fantasy novel. This music is starting to... There we go. Let's just turn you like all the way down. I have Marlowe Sampson, which is a novelization, a novel about awkward vampire, and I've been wanting to update that for quite some time. Yes, he's a terrible bad vampire boy. It was kind of a parody of those, you know, vampire stories, but that is a finished project. That's something that I want to edit and update, but it's not new writing, which if we want to do new writing, I've got options. We could, let me show you my little screen of, I have things planned, guys. I obviously know what I'm doing, right? That's what this is, isn't it? Hopefully you can read this. Bam! Scrivener! Welcome to Scuffed Down Population, this stream. So yeah, I've oh my gosh, triple vampire time. That's a lot of vampires. I don't know about that. So yeah, we've got, these are just a couple of writing prompts from our writing prompts that I kind of looked at and thought might be interesting to write for, that are, I could do maybe a small, beginning, start at the beginning to the end of the story and go from there. Who knows? I don't know. It could work out. I've got image prompts under the notes panel here, where I could show you the image and I could write a story about that. I'm also willing to take, I guess, requests or suggestions or prompts. I don't know. I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. So that's sort of where I am right now. These would all be new stories, no pre-existing characters. But if you really want me to, show you how I edit, I can do that. I think this may be a little less fun right now. We could start with something new. Something brand new. As I drink my nerves away. And if you guys don't have any suggestions, that's cool too. I'll just pick one of these and start going. So we can kind of see how it'll write you a thing. I'm trying to, Buck. I'm trying to. Image prompts. Okay. All right. Well, so I've been struggling. I've been struggling with, what do you call it? Streamlabs. It doesn't like me. We have a disagreement. So I've have to find a roundabout way of showing you the image prompt in mind. So let's see. Hey. Hi, Lex. It's actually really nice that you guys are all popping in here. I really appreciate it. It's kind of awesome. And it's not making me nervous at all. I swear I'm not terrified of being boring. So let's see if I can do this. Window capture. That's not gonna work. I'm just gonna pull it up, save the image, and show you the image. So I've got some choices. Yeah, you're spying on me, I know. And you get to see how the cookie is made, or the sausage, or the poorly constructed pie that we'll just call a food reference that makes sense. And it all makes sense. It'll be fine. It's totally fine. Part of me is just wanting to do a desktop share at this point, because I was trying to figure out how to show you images without creating chaos, madness, and all that junk. So let's see if I can do this. Browser source. So here we go. Forgive my shoddy view. I'm hoping that's clear. I should probably open the stream so I can see it too. There we go. Yeah. So this is one image prompt. I can just go through my other ones. There we go. We got this guy. Oh, of course, I don't click on the actual image itself. I know what I'm doing, guys. It's fine. We're just gonna pretend I did this all correct. Alright. You can hear me thinking. There we go. So this is another one that I like. We'll call this like the skyline. This one does look like Reddit. Yes, I know. And is this where the Reddit shame begins? You're using Reddit. Copy image address. And of course, once once we decide on an image, this is the third one. Oh, Nicole. I was doing some scouring through prompts and things like that to come up with new stuff. To sort of do something new for you guys. Stranger. I think Stranger has a favorite. And then there's at least one more. So far they've been kind of, you know, a little dark, little less than oh damn, I did it again. See? This is we'll just pretend I did this right. I think that's the only way this can go forward. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And then something like this. So I think to avoid going through too many, let's pick through those. We've got the kid in the door. We've got the dude hiding from the creepy giant monster things. 2 line workers in the sky and the skyline. Dude hiding. Cody's in for some post-apoc, little bit of chaos. Oh my. Oh my. So we're thinking dude hiding. Let's go back to that one. Is this where I think this is where we're going. I mean, that's all I see. So we've got dude hiding or a simple prompt that is on the screen. But I'm thinking maybe just dude hiding. I like image prompts. They're fun. They keep me from going crazy. Oh, a drunk girl character. Maybe not this. Oh, I didn't even think of that, writer. Just get some like drunk girl chat going on. That's always my strength in writing. Oh my gosh, the music, you're so loud. None of them so far, unless I go with, instead of princesses, the dragon kidnaps chefs, or chefs that are princesses. Well, let's. Well, here, I'll in case people are just, you know, listening for some reason. We feeling both. Let's start with the image prompt then. I feel like that's a pretty easy place to go for now, unless. See, I'm waffling, aren't I? I'm just going back and forth. Because I had some ideas for these bolded ones here. I had some interesting little immediate thoughts that could be fun and easy to do. So, I'm going to flip a coin. I don't have a coin. I have a bottle cap. Alright. Top, up. You can't see this. That's fine. Top, I'll be honest, I promise. Top up, image prompt. Top down, not an image prompt. Ooh, top down. So, simple prompt. Roll D4. I have to, sorry everybody, I have to go for a few minutes to install D12, or is it D20? I should know this, I should. So yeah, no image prompt. That'll be for another day. I have it saved. I will at some point write that. Maybe I'll do another live stream and we can watch me have an actual plan versus just like, hey, let's pick something out of a hat. So the evil book one sounds fun. So you find an evil book, but instead of randomly opening and reading a page that summons a very powerful spirit, you open the first page. I see that going in a comedy direction, which is always fun. It was the kind of town where it seemed to always rain on the weekends. Could go more wholesome, reality fiction, evil book, or evil book. There are no numbers over people's heads. Okay, I had to, stream past all of those. Just keep scrolling and scrolling. No, we don't need those. Those stories exist. It's fine. It's fine. And then the other one that I was leaning towards was, instead of princesses, the dragon kidnaps chefs, or chefs that are princesses. Yeah, tattoos on the wrist that tell them how many days they have to live. What's another good one? We did numbers. There's always genies, vampires, though I'm guilty of writing for vampires too. Personified. Let's go with evil book, but instead of randomly opening and reading the page, summons a very powerful spirit. So I don't lose this stuff. This is, and in case any of you are curious on how my brain works, this is how I use Scrivener. I've got a lot of stuff in here. Maybe I'll give you a little quick tour before we get into the writing, in case you're curious. And you know what? And if you're not, you can just tune out for a moment while I take you around my files. So for short stories, I keep all my short stories in the same Scrivener document, which includes stuff that I submit, which right now I've been using Grinder and all that. But I have it all in folders, and then I uncollapse those folders. As you can see, there's a lot of nested folders. I like things like this. Oh gosh. Teach you how to use Scrivener. I don't know about that. It's to each their own, but this is how I like to do it. So for the most part, for the short stories, I generally have the stuff that I published online, which is under... Actually, no, it's not under all shorts. This is the classes that I took at the university here in Fredericton. And they have some notes on the classes, the short stories themselves that you craft within them, and that sort of a thing. And of course, all nested prettily in different lists, because I like lists. And then... short stories. So stuff that I have ideas for that I've published, or, well, in this case, applied to be published, but have been rejected for. And they're just files of the stories themselves, either broken up by scene or compiled into one document. And then I have stuff based on, general IPs, so stuff that I've posted directly. There's no musical number, Zaktar. There's no musical number. Not today. Stuff that I posted only on my subreddit, which was just an alternate Theme Thursday post that was rule breaking, so I didn't post it there. And then Lego Tours Whisper, where I've got some of the breakdowns of the chapters, which is our short story serial. And then writing prompts, which I've broken into the different places that I apply to, the different, IPs. So stuff that I've kind of done. Stuff that I've kind of, it's not hard to break the rules for writing prompts. It's just knowing them, and then I knew that I couldn't, so I changed it, and I posted the rule-breaking one on my sub, and the not rule-breaking one elsewhere. I like to... Writer, to what you're saying, I like to avoid writing by organizing or talking about organizing my writing. It's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, so I throw in like my IPs I tend to group together because they sometimes have the same universe before all the Morton L'Oreal stuff was in here. And then obviously on my Theme Thursdays, which look at all these puppies. Look at them go. Theme Thursday for days. Yes, the IP contest, which is fun to write for. And then some stuff that I don't really have anywhere to sort it. So yeah. And now submissions, which is empty right now. It's check Grinder, so that I remember to actually check it. And now the Livestream folder, where I will write Livestream stuff. So there's a lot here. Oh, and the random no sleep post that I made, but I never ended up submitting because it broke the no sleep rule. So I just wrote it and I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't have a home now. So, oh man. Yeah, I like keeping them because a lot of the Theme Thursdays have spawned other universes. Like Morton the Real started at... Oh, wait, did they start as a Theme Thursday? I think they started as an image prompt, and then I took them to Theme Thursday, and then I had to take them away because they were a serial. But for the most part, I like having them there because I do the narrations, and Yeah, Cupcake Girl did. I started off writing Cupcake Girl for Theme Thursday, and so she's got her own little folder. Where is it? Cody and Dan, a little, aw, good times. I miss writing for Cupcake Girl. I should do some more. It's been a while. I just have to find a home for them. Maybe I'll start off. And then, of course, there's other things like I've kind of grouped the other, the SUs, the FFC, and the FIFs together because I don't write for them as much, which might change. Yeah, might or here. Write more Cody and Dan for here. Who knows? I could. But I like to keep all the Theme Thursdays because I do update them and edit them before I narrate them. And having them in the document makes it much easier to do. But I don't know. We've talked a lot about my folders. Maybe we should do this writing thing. Actually write. As you can see, I've got other ideas going. We can thank Book for that. So, write you the words. So, stream ideas. I need a new... Oh, and you'll get to see how poorly I type, which I type fast and make a lot of mistakes. And that's okay. It's okay to do that. I'm telling myself it's okay. So yeah, find an evil book. I'm going to... I have a plan. I have a plan, folks. Changing up the music. That sounds very weird and plucky. So it needs to go. Alright, there we go. Oh god, the clackety clack, yes. I'll try not to just stop talking, and I do have a mechanical keyboard. I was musing about this earlier thinking, oh, maybe I should get a keyboard that doesn't sound so damn loud. Because it is very, very loud. I'll give you a lovely sample. As I start writing. You don't need a preamble because I'm supposed to be doing this writing thing. But I was going to, as I told my patrons when I was setting all this up, I was going to do this as a kind of show you my process, which I don't know if you're curious about the process. It is what it is. But essentially, I just point form note it. And if generally as I start going, things become clearer, and then I start typing out random dialogue lines and in the worst format ever, and then we go there. So let's see. I do outline for just about everything, though. You're not hearing... I'm sorry. I also talk to myself out loud, and I'm trying really hard not to. Because it gets a little weird when you try to come up with random names like Osmodius Rampleton. But that is what it is. There we go. If you can't tell from the names already, I'm maybe going on a comedy route. A full narration. You're here for the whole experience. Alright, alright. You find an evil book. Oh. Stitching. Reference to yeah. For some reason. I'm not looking at the chat all the time, I swear I'm not. It's only mildly terrifying book. I popped out the window so that I wouldn't miss anything because I didn't want to miss the chatting, and I'm very happy that there's chatting. It might be entirely distracting, and that's okay because it makes this fun, and it means that I'm more likely to talk versus just writing down some spooky leaves. Ooh, that's a good question, Geese. Blood sounds good. If I spelled it right. Necronomicon. It could be an EU. It could just be that this is Death Note. But wasn't Death Note like a blank book? Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about anticipation senses, maybe less sweaty and more twitchy. No mom spaghetti. Look, Meme Town. No, we're not going with mom spaghetti. Oh no. Well, thanks for coming around. Turn around. sound. I'm gonna do the big hand wavy stuff first. Fuck. I shouldn't laugh at my own comedy, but I might. And I know it's not written yet, but I'm laughing. So there we go. There is a very broad plot for a cute short story that, you know, might be a little silly, but that's fine. Everyone likes a little silliness. Well, I don't know, because I was thinking it could be writer's block, but that's more of a writer thing than a reader thing. And part of me wants to think of something that would be more of a curse on a reader. So yeah, I'm gonna probably try and write the story, and then I'll let the punchline come a bit more naturally as I get there. They end up nothing but fan fiction for forever, or everything they read can only be fan fiction. All right, I'm going to backtrack. Again, my process isn't the most structured or clean. I don't know. It's a bit weird. I tend to, 5 steps forward, 3 steps back, and less of like losing, ground, but more of going back and reviewing and then moving back forward and 5 more steps, 3 back, and that kind of a thing. It's a give and take. So let's see how I do with Jackson Jones. My outline is like a bunch of bullet points. That's it. and then a bunch of sensory things. I don't know. It feels like it's a little chaotic, but maybe, to each their own. The grass is always greener. Look at someone else's process and think, that looks much more organized than mine. on his palms. I hope other people, you know, want to write after this. That'd be fantastic. If I mean, if you guys want to write while I'm writing, that's cool too. I'm a fan of the co-op writing. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's just telling you it's time. It's time to start writing. You should be writing a story right now. It would be kind of cool though. Maybe something down the road. I'll put it on my ideas, my one day ideas. This sounds awful, but see, this is how writers get distracted, okay? This is an exact example of how you shouldn't write, is start thinking about something else and then immediately go away from the document you were working on. Friends. There we go. That seems like a a nice little idea. A prompt off. Gather friends. Have the same prompt. Write stories. Compare. Laugh. Drink it. Be merry. Which is kind of like Theme Thursday anyway, so I don't know. There we go. Just so that we've appropriately giving credit where it's due. Road path. I don't know. I haven't picked a period for this. Part of me just assumed modern-y. I don't know. I could be really specific. Be like 1984. For no reason. Just pick that date and be like, yeah. (1971) Dudes in robes. I mean, but this is the thing. You could be in a cult in any time or place. You know, it's completely fine to be, well, okay, don't quote me on this. It's not completely fine to be in a cult, but it's completely fine for a story with a cult to be placed in any period of time. Even in a Walmart. The screech of his sneaker as he runs down the road. Bright white sneakers. So is that going to be the quote of the stream? It's completely fine to be in a cult. All right. I don't even know if that comma's necessary there. By the way, I apologize for my grandma. Well, not my grandma, my grammar. Immediately, I know I will put them in the wrong places. I will forget them. I like my grandma. I should call my grandma. Everyone should go call their grandma if they can. But anywho, as I was saying, I apologize for my grammar. Please ignore how terrible it is, and just accept that this is a very, very first draft. And I have 118 words in terrible, terrible order. Alright, back to this. Nothing but... How melodramatic do I want to get? Because I could get like really melodramatic. So over the top, nothing but the promise of danger. It's so bad. I'm keeping it. It's so terrible. Okay, that's fair. My line breaks are... I nothing but persecution. Yeah, my line breaks will be fine. I'm not concerned about those. I might go back and edit a few, but that's just stylistic choice. They will all be correct. All right. Danger or death? Ooh, promise. Ooh, alliteration. Pursuit. There we go. That's how the money is made. I don't make any money up. The danger of death. The promise of the pursuit of danger and death. All right. And I will go back and reread things. It helps my brain feel the next natural flow spot, which is weird. So if I do reread the same lines like 55 times, you will have it memorized, and then you can all recite it back to me. It'll be beautiful. The Cheltenham wind turned the trees in a deafening rustle. Jackson heard his pace, robes rustling, blood still tacky on his palms. With each step, he looked back to the way he came. Oh, wait. Back the way he come? Yeah. See, this is why I do it. Make sure that no one followed. We did. The road remained empty, filled with nothing but promise. But the promise of pursuit. This is so hammy. I don't normally write this hammy, but it's gonna be fun in contrast to the rest of the tone. But I will say, if I were reading some of these sentences, I would be like, this is ham. I feel like you could have dinner, and there should be pineapple served with it. All right, decide the sheep. Come on. I don't always write ham. Oh, I wish it did. That'd be great. Just little piggies. I have no idea what emotes they have. I think you can custom make a bunch. I'm not... See, this is what happens. I'm now looking at I'm not looking at those anymore. I'm good. I've already used remained before. There we go. Ooh, keep the mystery about what it is for a bit. I can blame it on the prompt. It is a very evil book. I don't know. I don't know why they're all monkeys. I have no clue. Alright. Despite the sheen of criticism, his grip remained firm on his prize. Now I'm thinking about the whole bench in the park. Seems a little silly. If he's being pursued, what is the point of that? See, I'm going back and changing how I was going to start it. So he needs to go somewhere. He needs to go somewhere safe. Where would a cult member in sneakers in 1971 or 84, possibly also in space, go to feel safe? Space Church camp. When you write yourself into a mini corner. This is just like a little mini corner. I can kind of find my... What would be silly here? Where would it be silly for him to go? To find... I mean, I could just have him go to his grandmother's house and go to her basement. I mean, I did say grandma earlier. So now I've got grandma's place on my mind. Doilies and very nice tablecloths. And the basement smells very much of that, like, stale potpourri. In, like, little bowls. Alright. A YMCA. But that doesn't feel like a safe place, you know? A private place where you would read about a book that summons powerful spirits. Alright, I'm going with Grandma's basement. Was Starbucks even around in like the 1970s? And or 80s? And or space? I'm going with Grandma. Alright, let's write these things down. Grandma's basement. She's baked cookies that are very hard and overcooked. Like old... Oh god, I'm not gonna spell this right. Potpourri? Yeah, no, I didn't spell that right. Help me. Aw, so close. Oh wow, I didn't even spell that right. His grandma owns a Starbucks. Okay, back to the story. See, I will say normally I do write a little bit faster, but I'm just laughing. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh god, Geese, that's adorable. She's very supportive. Oh, the hard candies. What else? Floral decor. Old couch, older than Jackson. What else? What else? Stereotypes of old grandmas. See, now I'm just picturing my grandmother, and I don't think she's a stereotype, but no, she's not. She was not supportive of my purple hair. She was nice about it, but she did not agree with it. Scotchmans. Plastic on the couch. Oh man. That's a classic. Okay. I think we might have enough for this atmosphere to contrast the empty road filled with nothing but the promise of pursuit. Okay, I have to stop laughing at what I'm writing. I have to take it seriously, right? Not just shag carpet in the bathroom. The whole bathroom has to be carpet. And it needs to be either what used to be bright pink, but is now faded and gray, or that awful sickly lavender. Okay. I have to get him to Grandma's basement, though. Have I said that it's night yet? No, I haven't. I said chill. What else can an evening be? Dark evening sounds. Ooh, I could take it later. Approaching dawn. Yeah, that's moody. I feel like I'm like dispelling all the thoughts of of me like coming up with like deep thoughts and tough topics, and I'm just like, yeah, that sounds moody. Let's write that. That sounds awesome. Cobwebbed quiet of evening. That is hard to say. That is a tongue twister. Nope, it's not still because there's wind. I'll just go simple for now and I'll bulk it up later. Alright, what else is he worried about? Oh, that's not how you spell that word at all. To himself or the tome. Cart. No, I'm worried that I'm being purposefully obtuse about it, trying to like avoid. Oh god, yeah, the music's. See, this is the nice thing about music that is just instrumental. I kind of tune it out for the most part. I could just repeat. I don't want to make people have to listen to the same song over and over again, but it is very intense. The funny part, though, is the icon for the music, like CD, whatever it is just a big giant smiley emoji. It doesn't quite match the tone of this song. Anywho, back to Jackson. I do like to do that, writer. I like to, when I can pick whatever the music is, I really enjoy writing straight up to what the scene is. I have lots of music playlists. Maybe that'll be another stream one day, where I can show you the different kind of music I listen to. I can't play it because of copyright, so all this music is copyright free, which is nice. So I don't have to worry about my stream being muted for giant swaths of time, which happens to people who play copyright music. They just mute your stream. But I do like to do that. Like if I'm writing an action scene, I have a couple of songs that I generally go to, and that makes for really nice, just you get into the mood, the tone. I have entire, what are they called? Spotify. I have Spotify playlists for each of the novels that I write on, and I collect songs and different kind of music from either the period that it's written in, if it's historical, or just tonally stuff that speaks to me for the book, and then I listen to that when I write it, and it helps me capture the mood and tone and the feel of the energy of it all, which is really cool. That's nice too. I have just done the fantasy playlist before, where I'm just like fantasy instrumental, and I pick like the random one of them up there. It's nice. Alright. It's been like an hour. I should have more than 2 paragraphs, or one and incomplete. And I'll probably end up getting rid of one or both of these at the end when I start doing edits. But I need to get to Grandma's basement. I have a goal. Grandma's basement. Despite the sheen of crimson. It's weird how when people are watching you do stuff, it changes how you do it a little bit. It's not Grandma's spaghetti. I can't. Oh my god. Okay, back to... I could just skip it. There we go. What kind of house is it? Is it in a city? I want to think it's in a city. Brownstone? To the internet I go. I'm gonna figure it out for the next stream. When I do a next stream. I'm going to use... Oh, townhouse is the more generic. Yeah, I'll go townhouse. French tutor. Thank you, writer. I was looking at an entirely different window when you're... Yeah. That's what I'm looking for, townhouse. Thank you. That's not how you spell that word. Went over the age of townhouse. Nope, I already used that. What do you say when wine is aged? Vintage. Words are hard, guys. Oh, I should hydrate. That's a good point. Okay, I missed the whole sexy singles in your area part of the chat, and I think that's okay. I'm gonna accept that and move on. Ooh. That's a good word. I like that. Oh, as they had. That's what I mean. For decades. Ooh, moldering. That's a good one. I think I might moldering when we get into the actual basement. Also, that's how I leave reminders. I just leave random words in places, and I often forget what the hell I was going to use them for. And then I go, what is moldering? I don't... What... Who... So, well, we'll have fun. Yeah. Lined. I haven't described... I have not put him in his robe yet, have I? Oh, I have, yes. Robes rustling. Wow. You'd think I could remember 3 paragraphs. Alright. hell are those called? Those tables that you have in an entryway, aside from just calling them entryway tables. My brain is totally stumped on the word. Console table. It sounds like the wrong word, but whatever. I think sideboards are for like the dining room. Because sideboards are, I think, traditionally used for where you would place the platters of food before serving. I think. I could be making that up completely. Who frickin' knows? I have no idea, Thorn. Is that it? Are you thinking like an ottoman? I think it's yeah, we'll go with entryway tables. People will understand that. See, this is a good place to use moldering. Make up a word. No, I'll just moldering is enough to be offensive. Plumes is too much. Are you guys discussing tables? Okay. He would know the name of the table. Honestly, Cody would be on the money for that. Savant table is. This is for you. This is what you get for making mom spaghetti jokes. for following. Back to Grandma's spaghetti. Oh, right. It is early morning, isn't it? See, I forgot what time of day it is. Maybe she's just got... See, now I have to change it. Where did I say that was early morning? Through the night. Oh, here we go. There we go. Early night. We solved it, boys. Spaghetti's no longer on the menu for breakfast. I'll just change it to evening. There we go. That's not how you spell that word. I say that a lot, by the way. I may not know how... See, I don't know how to spell it. My U's and my A's tend to play a lovely game of... I don't know which is which. Well, whatever. See, I'm surprised no one's come up with brigetti. Like breakfast spaghetti. Or speckfist. Speckfist. I shouldn't laugh at my own jokes. That's really weird when you're... Yeah. Moving on. I made spaghetti. Your shouldn't accompany the rustle of the pot and the clang of metal lid. Robe over his head and started down the long lavender carpeted corridor. Ooh, that's not gonna work. I never got to her being supportive of his hobby. I think that might come in later. Oh, what are those lamps called? Oh, Tiffany. That's not how you... Faux is different, isn't it? No, that looks right. Sometimes Scrivener and I like lamp. Okay, she's kitschy, but like unintentionally kitschy. I think the like lamp is gonna have to be his. Sometimes Scrivener doesn't understand what word is. Where's the at word? Learn spelling. Alright. Tiffany chandelier. Oh yeah, we're working in Scrivener. It's I like working in Scrivener. I actually just realized I can probably move this over so there's more screen to see. I like using it for my short fiction. I kind of collect everything together. Did that, so that's gone. Plastic couch covering or sofa from the early 80s. I don't like that. Have I said it's a book yet? No, I haven't. I called it his prize. I think it'd be weird if I called it prize again. Oh gosh, I don't have channel points. No, I'm still new. I don't know how to do all these things. I need to figure a lot of this stuff out. So there's a lot of things about. I've set up some of the basic things like the alert. Oh, don't hit test widgets. I didn't mean to do that. The alerts and some other things, but I'm really out of my element. It's been so long since I've streamed, and I used to just use OBS Studio, which was like much more simpler. It was more complicated to use if you didn't know what you were doing, but it was, straightforward. Everything was, put it up, you're good to go. It was great. I pushed a button and I was live and I was recording and it was all lovely. Streamlabs, everything's in a different window and in a different place, and there's no search function. And when I look online for how do I do this in Streamlabs, the videos are not always helpful. So I'm gonna work towards getting some other things like channel points and stretch goals and things like that, but it's a lot. And I like this. I like what I'm doing right now. I don't know how often I can do it. So I'm not sure if it's going to be... It's not going to be a weekly thing. No way can I keep up with that with the serials and everything else going on. But I definitely want to try and do little events here and there. Oh, the integrated Twitch stuff, yeah. It's weird. I don't know, Cody. I found Scrivener very easy to understand because I see it as a word editor and a file folder program smushed together. And once I started thinking about it that way, it became much clearer to me how to use it, at least for my function, for what I use it for. And it kind of makes it a little bit easier if I just think of it that way. I'm not using Scrivener to its fullest by any measure. I use the synopsis, I use the notes, and then I obviously make files and all that sort of stuff, but I don't use a lot of the corkboard functions and things like that. They get a little complicated, the different views. Oh, I should actually be able to see that. There we go. That looks more normal. I use this just to see word counts, but aside from that, I don't use a ton of the stuff to do. But yeah, we were for stream. What are we gonna call this? I gotta come up with a name with this thing. Banana Gang. All right. Ooh, Gramma would have... if it's from the 80s, it would be a glass coffee table. Oh my gosh, you found a spaghetti. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. Right. Yeah, that's right. That's cute, Keys. You know, I could, because I am going to be having him read the copyright page, I could call it a dark and stormy copyright. And that could, Oh gosh, where'd that go? There you are. I think grandmother is lowercase. Because it's not her, it's not grandma. Pretty sure it's lowercase. You know what? That's a grammar thing I don't need to worry about right now. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. What was that word we were using for the entrance table? Oh man, I have to scroll back up in the chat. I'll never find it. That's okay. I'm sure someone else will know. Oh. Those terrible little bathrooms. Basement bathrooms. Wow, that is... Oh boy. Cody! I've got Cody's senses are tingling. What's that about basement bathrooms? You know how they're... From the 90s at least, the basement bathrooms were the worst. They were always, again, lined with linoleum from floor to ceiling. And every appliance... So like the toilet, the shower, the sink, there was so much white plastic. That's a mouthful of a sentence. Let's see. Hurried to the undersized basement bathroom lined with linoleum floor to... yeah, that's too much. Ceiling. Hello, Chewbacca. I have two cats, by the way. For those that don't know. Chewbacca and Oscar. You can tell which one my husband named. Hello, Chewbacca. Chewbacca is informing me that he's hungry. but he can wait. Cat stream. No, there will be no cat stream. We have, the next you'll be asking me. No, I'm not gonna say that. Nope. Cat cam. They sleep a lot. They just sleep. So I did get one of those. We bring cardboard boxes home and we leave them out for the cats. So I took a towel and I put it in the box, and I made their world. They're so happy. The problem is I only did it with one. So right now Chewbacca is standing outside of the box looking at Oscar sleeping in it, and he's telling me that he's displeased with this arrangement. So clearly I have to go get another cardboard box and put a blanket in it so that he too can sleep with a towel. They're spoiled. But they're also loud, so occasionally you will hear them cry. Or me tell them to stop crying. Or hear them scratch cardboard. Alright. White plastic. Lined with linoleum from floor to ceiling. It's white. That's the wrong. Had yellowed. Time. Ooh. Had grade. Are we A or E? Ooh. Oh, those tiled ceilings. Did someone? Yeah, geese. You're definitely on the money about those awful, like, pocked gray ceilings. Ugh. Prize? I don't know if I like referring it to as a prize. Goal seems inappropriate. I don't know. Her feet above told Jackson she'd relent, for now, as he washed the blood from his hands. Once cleaned, he hurried out and sat before. Yeah. Okay, so little secret. That's not a secret. I sometimes have bad word brain, which is an example of exactly what I'm talking about. You know you have a mean case of bad word brain when you're like, I see this word, I know there are other words that mean this as well, basically synonyms, but, you know, bad word brain. I know there are other words that word like this word does, but I can't think of those words. So how do I word? And in these instances, I turn to thesaurus.com. And I feel a little bit of writer shame. Why? How do I word? Why do I word? Who words the best? How does one word? There's so many questions. They're all great words. But I feel no one should have shame for checking up on a thesaurus if you've got your brain stuck in something and it's making it difficult to think over. But it does feel a little bit like I'm cheating. I won't lie. I feel like I'm doing like a cheat code right now. Prize. What does that word have anything to do with the word prize? Some of these don't make any sense. All right, to the noun. And I'm just gonna call it a book. Yeah, and it's also, you know, you do a thing for a while, you keep trying to find just the right word, and this is one of those things where I'll get a draft out and then I will go back and rewrite it, and I will change 30% of the words in this already, because it's just, unless I'm lazy and I just decide not to, but the first time around, not everything clicks into place. You've kind of got the idea, but you don't quite have the right words. And being, I don't necessarily know if it's being poetic, but being the higher, I think the craft of words is a little bit different than the craft of plot and story. And so sometimes they don't always work together, and you kind of have to do one so you can do the other. I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about though sometimes, and everyone's process is different. Yeah, you do what you can. I will say though, I don't know if I'm going to get this whole story done tonight. I might wrap this up in maybe like 20-25 minutes to give it about a 2-hour time that we've been streaming. But I will 100% post this and finish it and make it available either as a PI on writing prompts or just on my own subreddit and all that. I'm gonna keep going though. I'm not done, and we're moving along faster. You know, at the 1 hour we had a paragraph and a half. Now we're 340 words in. I do not write very fast at all today. My gosh. Hi there, Lucky. Alright. Once cleaned, he hurried out and sat before the book. Now we can describe. Alright, she's very supportive of his hobby. Little notes. Alright, now we get to describe the book. Oh gosh, please don't be more distracting. The flashy, fun pictures, I'd never get anything done. Oh dear. I'm just giving you all ideas, aren't I? Alright. Ooh, I used to know this word. See? Don't word good. The part of the spine that's not the spine. The page. You know what? Ooh, that'd be a cool note. It's not the binding, it's the opposite side. So you have the spine, which is the spine of the book, where the two covers meet and wrap around. But the other side, it's like the open pages, where you would literally open the book. There's a name for that, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. But I don't really need to know that, right? Is it the inseam? Some books did gild the edges. Hey, letter. Oh, and Jeff. Oh my gosh. So many people. Yeah, so they would gild some of the pages I don't know if they use actual gold, but it's very shiny and very pretty. But I can't remember what the name of that is. This is gonna drive me nuts. Parts of a book. It's time to Google. It is time to Google. Oh, they just call it the text block. That's not pretty. I don't like the sound of that. I love some of these. Oh my gosh. Some of the pictures just show like a book, and then it points and it says pages. Oh, it's classic. Oh yeah, we'll figure it out. The foredge? Oh, that is it. I think the foredge is specifically... Oh, it's kind of that. It's when it makes the image. A page edge of paper. You know what I'll do? Because that looks... I think foredge is the right word, but that generally refers to when it's painted. The edge of a book, book section, or illustration opposite the backbone. Okay, then yeah, that's it. Why does that sound wrong to me? It's probably right, though. There we go. It's in there for now, so I can decide later. Because it's something where, if it's limited knowledge, is it really worth it to put in the accuracy if people are going to be like, what the hell's the foredge? It does sound like forehead. But we're going back to words. Then. I mix up my thens and my thens. And that's for later me to worry about. Right now we're just writing. We don't need to worry about being accurate. We don't need to worry about being grammatical. Is that the word? Is that even a word? That sounds like it should be a word. We got this. It's gonna be fine. Then he remembered. So distracted. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed, and for anyone who's popped in after the fact, hi, thank you for joining. I'm working on, I'm just writing. I met a stretch goal for my Patreon account, and the first goal was to do a live stream of my writing, of my process, of what I'm doing. So, 6 months later, because oh boy, I'm bad to keep into schedules. Here we are, and we picked a prompt. It's over here. If you've ever used Scrivener, this is the Scrivener program that I'm using. It's for writing and other stuff. I think people use it for scripts too. I think it's got a whole built-in thing for script writing, but this is the prompt over here. You find an evil book, but instead of randomly opening and reading the page that summons a very powerful spirit, you open the first page. And I decided to write a cute little comedy piece that's now taking me forever to do, where a guy opens up the book, he reads the copyright page, accidentally summons the author, argues with the author about why he was summoned, and then the author curses the reader with something, possibly spaghetti. Maybe he just curses him with obscene amounts of spaghetti just everywhere. I'm now writing that down as a possible idea because this is what happens when writing by committee. And so we're just going through the process. And it's a fun little prompt. It's from Writing Prompts. I could actually grab the link. I just copied the text. It's an older one. Let me Let me do the do. And then I might submit it as a... I might respond to it. I might wait a couple days if I give it a once-over. Actually, hold on. I'll put it up here. And I'll move these guys down. And yeah, so just having a little fun. I did a little bit of a tour around how I use Scrivener and how I write my short stories and that sort of a thing. This is very different than my novels. I'll do a stream where maybe I edit a bit of a novel, or I go back and edit something like Marlo Sampson, and I can show you how I structure my novels. Very similar, but yeah, and then I did a bit of note-taking and just some ideas. We basically have built up to him opening the book is about as much as I've planned, and then after that we'll refer to my lovely plot outline, which is just a bunch of little notes, and then we'll keep going. Normally these stories go faster for me. I might be a little multitasking right now, so it's a bit slower, but it's neat. It's actually because, again, getting some feedback from you guys and the random word selections and choices and just chatting about this is fantastic, and it's fun. It's weird. It's definitely different, but I'm liking it. Yeah, distracted. It's tough sometimes. Letter, you just hit that wall, and I mean, I'm not, do what I say, not what I do. I'm not very good at breaking through that wall when I hit it, but I do think the idea is to push through, but I'm not very good at it. It's like, I hear that's how it's done. That's what people tell me how to do it and to tackle when you're having a writing block, but who knows? It works out or it doesn't. Yeah, and that's the thing, Book. Sometimes you have to talk it out. Book knows. She's like my writing mentor. What's a good word for it? I'm trying to think of a good word. Because we'll get into a chat and we'll just talk about what we're working on, and then suddenly we've planned out 3-4 novels, and we're like, oh hey, ain't that convenient? And but then you have to actually write them, and the planning is the fun part, right? Yeah, accountability buddies. The planning is fun, but the writing itself, sometimes you're like, ooh boy. Don't worry about it, writer. It's great. Thank you for following. Now you'll get pestered every time I do something on Twitch, which it's been like 4 years since I've done anything else on Twitch. But yes, we are writing a book. Well, a story. Oh my god, we're not writing a book. This is not a book. We're not writing a whole book on this. Also, in case you're wondering my spellings, I am Canadian, so you will see random U's in places that you think are wrong. And Scrivener agrees with you. It doesn't agree with me. I really should just add those in, but it is what it is. Except, we move on. It's fine. Yeah, random. I have to, it's a struggle, okay? It's a struggle to use the U's, because my office, my day job, we don't use the U's. And so I have to switch back and forth, and sometimes I leave them in and I just tell the person that copy edits my work that it's their problem and not mine. Moving. Darker even than he remembered. The cover seemed to have taken a red tinge to its leather. What was it that they used to make it? Was, am I imagining it? Bound. The dark spine was rumored to have been bound in. I know the word, but I'll just human skin. I know catgut. Man, my old school bookbinding education is failing me. I studied this stuff. I should remember this stuff. I don't know if catgut was used. With that. Anyhow, I don't need to get into super details. If the rumors are true. Are you all discovering the different ways to use Twitch chat? You seem like you're experimenting with arrows. I don't. I'm writing, right? I'm not easily distracted. See, caress the delicate bindings. Word are you? That's right. Engraved. I don't know about mentored. That's a, oh gosh. Oh gosh. I do answer questions, even if I'm not asked them directly. I talk a lot, if that wasn't obvious. No, never writer. Oh my gosh, don't make me cry. All right. Just because I tell people to break up their paragraphs more and all that doesn't mean. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, sorry, we go way back. Oh my gosh, the old, was it? It was Gaia Online, wasn't it? Oh dear. In the before times, in the long, long ago. There, oh man. There was a before time. It's fun to go back and read the old stuff. Yeah, even, what was before Gaia? Oh my gosh. I can't remember. I feel awful. All I'm seeing in my head now is Neopets, and that is like, there's no way. No. No way. I did any writing on Neopets. I just admitted that I used to play Neopets. Yeah, actually, I think Book made a request that I read some old LiveJournal. That's what it was. Way back when. Oh man, LiveJournal. But yes, Book made a request that I read something old, and I suppose I can do that. I will have to. We'll talk about that. Let me get another pair. Let him open the book. We'll get up to him actually opening the book. You know, 2 hours of streaming, 500 words. I think we can get him to open the book before I stop. And then yeah, I can see about. We'll pull up some really bad old fiction. I'll even let you guys see it on screen so you can see how few line breaks there are. There are very few line breaks. And I mean old writing. I'm talking like before I posted stuff on the internet. Old. You all enjoy my pain. Okay, he traced his fingers along. And I'm gonna reread all of this out loud when I get to the end of this paragraph, because it'll be fun. And then I'll read you some old stuff, and then we'll call it a night for now, and I can get to planning my next stream, because it sounds like you guys are having fun, and I'm liking this. I'm not as nervous as I was. I was freaking terrified. Absolutely terrified. Oh, thank you, Lucky. Okay. He traced his fingers along the engraved runes. Marked. Yeah, let's go with marked. Title. A script. Forgotten. Illegible? No. Jackson. His work. I actually appreciate that posture check. I'm now sitting a couple inches higher. That's his work, his research. And prepared. Years and meager fortune, lives and missed Tinder dates. See, there's that word again, pursuit. I'll never get away from it. But tis. I'm not laughing at my own jokes. I already did that. I'm good. I don't care how terrible they are. Also, I think I realized that Pretzel Rocks doesn't have a ton of music. I think we listened to this earlier. Damn them and their small YouTube safe library. Okay. Years of a meager fortune, lives and missed Tinder dates spent. Pursuit. The book. Nope, just... I think emphasize this one. I might... Yeah, I might, because the issue is for music, mildly distracted again, Twitch has a very different rules than YouTube. So the Twitch OK library is huge. Thousands of songs that are fantastic that don't have lyrics, because I don't like to listen to lyrics when I write, because I end up transcribing what I'm listening to. And That doesn't look like the right word. I'll worry about it later. The issue is that on YouTube, though, a lot of the words that are songs that are Twitch okay are not YouTube safe, so my video will get flagged for copyright infringement. And I am going to be uploading this to YouTube after the fact. So I kind of had to pick something, and I can't use YouTube safe music on Twitch because they don't cross-pollinate, I guess. The solution was I was going to stream on YouTube, but they actually have a cap. You have to have a certain number of followers before you can stream. So, here I am. But this worked out. I know Twitch more than YouTube, so that's fine. And I'm going to probably maybe make a playlist of copyright-free music, and I'll try and figure out how to do attribution for that. This was just a nice function because it's integrated into the chat, and I can set it up to display the song on screen so that no one can come at me and say that I'm not giving attribution to the music. And I want to give it to the music. A lot of people put content out there for free, and it's fantastic, and I want them to get credit for it because I would want credit for my stuff if people shared it and hosted it on their website. So we will see. Now, he hasn't opened the book yet. He'd done his research. He'd studied and prepared. Here's your fortune. I gotta name this book. I know how to spell that word. Why would I? Okay, spiritual enlightenment for the demonically inclined. I think that's... Sometimes I just don't want to bother figuring out how to spell it right. I do swear in my writing. I do swear when I talk. I'm fine with curse words. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think I've sworn here yet. Gosh darn it. Gore ram it. Haberdashery. Alright. I know, it gets a little risky with haberdashery. Sassafras. Gershka darn it. Did I do it justice, Akhtar? The poor children. Alright. As he smoothed across the calm in something spooky. You can tell I'm getting a little lazy with the writing right now. Okay, I love you, Scrivener, but it actually made me respell bound with the correct spelling. Okay, I'm good. So, bound in genuine puppies. I don't know, maybe the spooky volume was spooky as it's spookified in the dark. Yeah, that's how words are made. I'm really not looking forward to editing this later. Oh dear. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to give it a reread for you, though, so you can get into some fun. The chill autumn wind turned the trees in a deafening rustle. Jackson hurried his pace, robes rustling. Oh, I used rustling twice. Whoops. This is why we read things out loud. Jackson hurried his pace, robes billowing, blood still tacky on his palms. With each step he looked back the way he'd come to be sure no one had followed. Each time he did, the road was empty. Oh, the road. The road was filled with nothing but the promise of pursuit. Despite the sheen of crimson, his grip remained firm on his prize. He clutched it close to his pounding chest, meandering through the encroaching evening. Twice he nearly tripped in his hurry, but Jackson recovered without a scratch. He burst through the front door of the aged townhouse and was accosted by the overpowering stench. Sickly sweet confections permeated the air as they had for decades. Bowls of the scotched mints lined the entryway tables beside collections of moldering potpourri. "Jackson, honey?" his grandmother called from the kitchen. From the doorway steam trickled out and licked the walls with condensation. Jackson didn't answer. He pulled the hood of his robe over his head and started down the long lavender-carpeted corridor. "I made spaghetti!" Her shout accompanied the rustle of a pot and the clang of metal lids. Of a metal lid. Under the silent tread of his sneakers, Jackson made his way to the basement, lest she cry out to him again. With a flick of the switch, the room illuminated under the faux Tiffany chandelier. The light reflected off the plastic couch cover, protecting the mint-conditioned floral sofa from the early 1980s. He carefully placed the book on the glass coffee table, smudges of red smearing its top. "Do you want a plate?" His grandmother hurled the words down the stairs. "I'm fine." He hurried to the undersized basement bathroom. Lined with linoleum from floor to ceiling, its white plastic had grayed over time to match the pocked gray ceiling tiles. The distant mumbles and the shuffle of her feet above told Jackson she'd relent, for now, and was as he washed the blood from his hands. Once cleaned, he hurried out and sat before the book. Though blood stained the cream-colored pages, its cover looked clean, darker even than he remembered. The cover seemed to have taken on a red tinge to its leather. Human leather, if the rumors were true, and Jackson hoped they were. "This could be it," he muttered to himself as he caressed the delicate bindings. Gouges marred the once pristine surface, nicks and chunks that spelled its violent history. He traced his finger along the engraved runes that marked the title, a script forgotten by most. But not Jackson. He'd done his research. He'd studied and prepared for this moment. Years and a meager fortune, lives and missed Tinder dates spent in pursuit of the book. Spiritual enlightenment for the demonically inclined. A twitch lingered in his fingertips, one he hadn't been able to shake since the earlier violence. But as he smoothed across the volume bound in something spooky, a calm overtook him. He opened the book. So yeah, that's ta-da for those that are used to writing prompt server stuff. So yeah, that's the start. It's not done. It will be done. I promise I will finish this because it's fun and cute and it'll be fun. And I look forward to posting this and everything. But okay, I did promise. Let me dig it up. I'm assuming you want something particularly terrible, like that fantasy novel I was writing as a child. The things we do. The things we do for friends. Alright, I started putting it somewhere. Ryder's not excited at all. He's not even a little bit, you know, totally pumped. I might even have saved where I was in the story. I just have to find where I saved it. This is not the document. Pardon me and my... Pardon me and my hunting. It'll just be a moment. Oh, is this it? Oh, yeah, I found it. It was just a moment. Wow. Okay, so... Let's... Oh man, the font is terrible too. Let's go back. I think I can show it to you on screen. I just need to change the window capture. And... Oh no, it's not doing it. I will copy and paste it into Scrivener for now, just to make life easier. The font is Calibri. Calibri? Calibri? Depends on how you say it. So for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, on Writing Prompts Discord server, when I was a moderator, I hosted an event that was flashback writing. I can't remember what I called it, but it was basically where we took our old writing and we critiqued ourselves. I'm big into critiquing, and I was running a feature at the time, and this was a chance for us to, you know, show how much we've grown as a writer and how, you know, we feel about how we used to write and finding those problems that we used to have. And just, you know, take the chance to kind of critique ourselves, but also enjoy that we've come a long way. And I decided to... Most people, it was stuff from their first post on the subreddit or from online, so maybe a year or two old. A couple people went back a few years. I decided to share something from when I was in high school. And so it was... It was from a long time ago. I'm not going to tell you how long. We'll pretend that I'm younger than I am. But it was enough that everyone had a good laugh, because I wrote like crap in high school. I was not prolific in any way, shape, or form, or inherently talented. But it's fun. It's fun to look at this stuff. So, to catch everyone up, because I'm not going to reread what I've already... you know what? No, it's too much. It's too cringeworthy. It's awful, by the way. This is bad. To catch you up, it is... Our main character's name is Tara, and she has run away from home. She is an elf, and there is persecution against elves in this story universe. Take your pick. I mean, come on. It's fantastic, but... It's told from the first person, which I don't write a lot of, and oh boy. She's running away from home, and she gets approached by some drunk humans who are being racist and rude, and she is mouthing off, and someone, a man named... What the hell did I... The names are terrible. I feel so awful saying this. Davenast comes to her aid. Of course, this dashing human who saves her, or tries to, but is also, yes, McSteamy. I think I was young enough to still portray him as not necessarily perfect, so we'll... There's a T at the end. I'm trying not to pop my T-tube hat because I do have the smallest of lisps. But let's read the end of this scene. So Davines has tried to save her, and these men have said, "Go home, you drunk." So you get to see. Look at these bulky paragraphs. And just for you guys, I'll put it back in its Calibri glory. Oh, that's sweet formatting. Look at this paragraph. Okay. All right, I can do this. She came into our city, Barnell, without permission. Damn it, do you really expect us to what? Yes, now go home. I have no idea who's talking. I'll put you in jail if you don't abide by the laws. Understand? Barnell's voice was stern, but still kind, so the men couldn't get angry at the little man. I could tell by the way they walked away that they were greatly agitated, but the drunk just stayed by Barnell's side and waited. As for you, he said, leaning in close, leave now. You're not welcome here again, and if I see you, I will not be held responsible for anyone's actions. You're here? I'm reading the typos, by the way. If I forget one, call me out on it. His voice had changed in a great amount as he spoke, with more anger. His carefree and trusting appearance had faded very quickly. I simply agreed, and walked away as quick as I could, being careful to keep one eye on who was following me. The worst seemed to fall as I returned home, or at least what I thought should have been my home. My father was the High Elder, and he was ill. That is why I was sent into town, to retrieve the supplies needed. Along with humans came the diseases they carried that only they were immune to. Pesca had been a secluded village until Belad had been built 10 years ago. Since then, so much had changed. When I left Pesca, my father was not very ill, but when I returned, his situation was worse. He was on the verge of death, and because I didn't have the supplies, my father died. It's a very climactic moment that I told an exposition. If I only I had... Yep, no, that's right. If I only I had... It doesn't matter now. What's done is done, and nothing can change that. When I finally reached my father, the new High Elder was greatly angered. How dare you! Get out! And that was all that was said. The High Elder directed everyone in my village to stay away from me and not to speak to me. I'm sorry. I know I should have been faster, but there were problems and I couldn't get the medicine. No matter how hard I tried, my cries went unheard. It is your fault. We have been deprived of our great leader after generations of our people. You must be a traitor. That's right. His words cut through me deep. I'm sorry. I need a moment. They cut through me deep. That's it. That's what you are. He kept on blaming me and calling me a traitor. I had always known that the people in my village had looked down on me as an outcast. I had always wanted to see the world, and now that I had seen a little of it, I was scared. I didn't want to be alone. They were angry for losing a leader, but how can they blame me? I lost a father. I didn't understand, and as I stood there, my silence was guilt enough for them. Then it is true, you are a traitor. Your silence has condemned you. Leave here and never return. Never. And with that it was over. All that I had known and loved was gone from me, and all I could do was run. Dun dun dun. So that's the end of the first scene of chapter 1. And this document is, let's look at the pages. At least once a week. At least once. So you're welcome. I know everyone's probably having a great time laughing at this. Let's see how long this thing is. Web layout. It is... oh dear. What's typed is 58 pages. 8.5 by 11. 12-point font. So, you know, not so bad. It's only the first 8 chapters. I think I have another 6 notebooks filled. The epic adventure is not finished. Part of me just wants to continue writing as if without editing anything ever. Just as a lark and a laugh, but it's you know, this was a lot for a teenage, you know, girl writing. It was quite a bit. After writing, you know, a 150k novel, it's a little bit different now. But it's fine. It's fine. In any case, thank you everyone. This was fun. This is a lot of, well, it was, I read a lot of Lord of the Rings, and I read a lot of other stuff, fantasy novels. I was really big into David Gemmell. Really big into him around this period in time. So I was super excited to write my own fantasy epic that was gonna span hundreds of years. I made maps. I have, are there hints? No, but there's a girl that talks to trees. The trees don't necessarily talk back, but she does talk at them. And there isn't time travel, but there's lots of dragons. Yes, David Gemmell. I read a ton of his stuff. I think I still have some of my favorite books from him. He was just fun for me at that time. The reading level wasn't super difficult. It was easy to get into the books. They were very action-packed, a lot of, you know, strong female characters in his longer series, and there was one of them that was fantastic that I loved. I'll have to, you know what, I'm going to look up the title right now. It's all well and dandy to talk about the books that you love, but if you don't know what the hell they're called. Oh, thank you, letter. What's his books? Fiction. Legend was the series, the beginning of the Drenai series, but the single one, was it Waylander or Morningstar? Let me see, I think it was Morningstar. But yeah, they were fun. They were kind of pulpy. No, it wasn't Morningstar. Wow, I'm really bad. It had an alien on the cover. That's not helpful, is it? Oh, come on. I have to be able to find this. It was the first book I read by him. It was a one-off. It didn't have any other continuations. It's on my shelf, but it's in another room. This is terrible. I can't remember it. But I enjoyed his a lot of his stuff. It's been a long time since I've read anything by him, though. Damn it. Dark Moon. That's it. Dark Moon. I knew I'd recognize once I saw the title. Yes, Dark Moon. I loved that book. It's probably not as good as I remember it because it has an alien on the front. It's not, I don't know if it actually, I can't remember if it's actually an alien, but I really liked that book when I was younger. I read it a lot. It was one of my brothers. I stole it from him and I kept it and I didn't give it back to him for ages. But that and Lord of the Rings got me into really wanting to write fantasy. So, you know, thanks guys. Aside from that, we could probably stop staring at my terrible fiction. We'll go back to this, the pretty words. I know, I'm sorry, book. It's terrible. I'm really bad with names. And words apparently. So it's, and of course, the other frustration is they re-release the books with new covers all the time. So I was looking at the different covers and I was like, that doesn't look familiar at all. That doesn't look familiar at all. In any case, I was wrapping it up, wasn't I? It's been 2.5 hours. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. And I think this worked out really well, and I think I'm going to do it again. I will take requests. If anyone has anything they'd like to see me write or even read, I could do a narration stream versus just a straight up writing stream if people are more interested in actively having some reading and narration stuff going on. And we can do new stuff. I can edit some things. It's been... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Ryder. I'm glad you're feeling a bit better, at least entertained. I hope you feel better. Oh man, those COVID vax shots are rough. Or I don't know, am I allowed to say that? I don't think I'm allowed to say that word. Needle shots are rough. There we go. But yes, this was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to it. If any of you have any questions or you want to make any suggestions, on the Twitch page, I do have links to my social media stuff. You can drop me a line anywhere. And if you know me, if you're in the writing Discord on like our writing prompts, you can DM me or anything like that. It's no problem whatsoever. I just really appreciate having people. It'd be a very different experience if I was entirely on my own. So this was fun, and I hope you guys, write all the things. I hope you guys have a great night or morning or middle of the night. I don't know what time it is for people, but take care and woo, we'll do it again. All right, I should stop now. Bye.